Here's Georgia, the abbreviation GA, making us think of the word gaze. To gaze is to look intently. So the image here is of two sets of eyes because they are gazing. Now the original name of the capital was Terminus because it was the end of the railway line. It was Marthasville for a little while. And then at one point, the chief engineer of the railroad, J. Edgar Thomson, recommended that they name it Atlantica Pacifica because of the dream of the railway reaching all the way from the Atlantic Ocean to the Pacific Ocean. But that was quickly shortened to the word Atlanta. Here you can see our endangered species, which is the clapper rail, which goes along with the idea of the railway. And all of this to help us remember that the capital of Georgia is Atlanta. South Carolina. We think of the word scour because Burke was gazing and scouring the north coast. The name Carolina comes from the Latin word for Charles because it was named after King Charles II of England. And here you can see three ships that represent Columbus, but this capital is named Columbia. So we're taking the banded killfish, which is our endangered species for the area, and he's going to scour and scrub the end of the word Columbus. So the US disappears, and we put on the IA, which is the feminine version of the word Columbus. So the capital of South Carolina is Columbia. The state of North Carolina has always been surrounded with this aura of mystery. We think of NC as North Coast, which is part of our story that helps us remember the abbreviation for North Carolina. We look at Blackbeard's ship off of the coast. There's even a place called Kill Devil Hills. It really is just shrouded in this aura of mystery. Sir Walter Raleigh was given a charter by Queen Elizabeth I, and he funded this expedition to the island of Roanoke. Here you can see our Roanoke log perch, which is our endangered species for the area. And Roanoke, being part of the name, reminds us of this civilization that disappeared a long time ago. Now, ultimately, we have to remember that the name of the capital is Raleigh after Sir Walter Raleigh, but hopefully it will remind you what folly Raleigh. So when you think of this area and you think of the North Coast, even though Raleigh, North Carolina is not on the coast, that was the city of Roanoke and now it's the Outer Banks, etc. But we're just trying to get you to remember Raleigh, North Carolina, what folly Raleigh, because he funded this expedition that ultimately did not fare so well. And the word folly, it can mean lack of good sense or lack of prudence or foresight, or it can mean an excessively costly or unprofitable undertaking or an unwise investment, which definitely is the case here because Raleigh spent a lot of money to establish Roanoke and then it was not successful. So Raleigh, North Carolina. So let's review. Atlantica Pacifica shortened to Atlanta, Georgia. Then we're scouring the end off of the name Columbus and adding an IA for Columbia, South Carolina. And then we have the lost city of Roanoke. Oh, what folly, Raleigh for Raleigh, North Carolina. Okay, we have Atlanta, Georgia, Columbia, South Carolina, and Raleigh, North Carolina.